Chicago invests $300 million in 15 affordable housing developments. It's part of a multi-layered Johnson administration strategy, but renters and buyers remain anxious as housing costs grow faster than wages. Tonight, Chicago's housing commissioner gets to the point.
From Chicago's very own, with WGN Political Editor Taman Bradley, this is The Point.
Good evening. Tonight we look at housing in Chicago. Demand for apartments and single-family homes exceeds supply. The Windy City is not alone. The cost of apartments is up in most big U.S. cities, but in Chicago, prices have skyrocketed. According to Apartments.com, the average price for a one-bedroom apartment is $2,000 a month. If you're house hunting, good luck. Inventory is scarce. Ownership may feel out of reach. The commissioner of the Chicago Department of Housing is here with us tonight. But first, we checked in with real estate broker David Taylor to get a sense of what he and his clients are seeing.
There is a huge imbalance between supply and demand, with supply being limited and demand being extremely high.
If I'm 30 years old making about $60,000 a year, where am I supposed to rent?
That's a great question. The demand is so strong in most of the downtown South Loop, all along the lakefront, and then going north, up along the Kennedy on either side, so basically on either side of the Blue Line. And we're just seeing rents explode over the last 2, 3, 4 years. Ever since the pandemic, rents have really exploded in basically all those areas.
What is it like to go to rent a property? You're not there by yourself anymore, right?
Oh, no. Yeah, what we are seeing from landlords is that they are holding open houses, much like sellers hold open houses.
Like you're buying a house?
Right, yeah.
To rent?
To rent, right.
What about the housing market? Is there enough inventory in Chicago?
No. Short answer is no. We are one of the few major markets that continues to have this huge imbalance between supply and demand. So many more home buyers who can't get houses, so then they're continuing to rent rather than moving into the home ownership, the stage of life or the cycle of life that most people have experienced over the last 40, 50, 70 years, probably going back to the 1950s.
How frustrated are your clients?
My clients are so frustrated. And a lot of it is because I don't think I've had a client in the last 3 years where I've written one offer that's gotten accepted. We're writing 4, 5, 6 offers before they get an offer accepted. We are waiving contingencies. We're going, $50,000, $75,000 over list price just to lose to somebody else who's coming in and, making a incredibly attractive offer to the seller.
So owners and landlords have the upper hand right now?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, both of them are in control because there just isn't enough inventory for anybody almost anywhere in the city. And not just in the city, this includes the suburbs also.
Is there anything the city can do to help?
The city is trying. The governor is trying. And we've seen in other parts of the country, such as California, that you can put a lot of money, a lot of public policy after this, and it still doesn't have the results that people are looking for, which is just more homes. So, some estimates are that we need 100,000 more housing units in Chicago and in the suburbs. And it's really just a question of how do we build them? And one of the things that concerns me is that we've seen such a quick run up in prices, both for rent and for single-family homes, condos, townhouses, things like that, that we're almost at a tipping point where it's going to become such a huge problem that we're not going to be able to fix it.
Chicago Department of Housing Commissioner Lisette Castañeda is here. Welcome to The Point.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight.
Good to have you. What's the city's answer to this? Apparently now you need a realtor to rent an apartment.
We understand that there is a crisis happening, right? It's been a long building crisis, and as has been said, it's not just a crisis of what's happening here in Chicago, but this is a nationwide problem. This is why we have lots of solutions. There's not a single tool in the toolbox that is going to solve this problem, but there are lots of things that we have to do to make this happen together. That includes things like additional dwelling units, which we just expanded on April 1st. It includes things like building building more affordable housing. It includes things like building more opportunities for home ownership as well.
You mentioned the dwelling units. Now, you don't have as many as other big cities across the country. What more can you do to develop more of the so-called granny flats?
Yeah, we are really excited that on April 1st, there was actually an expansion of an ordinance, through ordinance, that means that there are thousands more lots that are now eligible to be part of or to have an ADU on their site. It can be whether they're turning it into a coach house, their garage or something else, or it can also be a conversion unit where they're turning their basement into a legal ADU. This is gentle density. It means that we're adding units to a block and to a market without necessarily drastically changing the look and the feel of a neighborhood.
Back to the high-end market, $2,000 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. Is there anything that you can do about the renters who are willing to pay top dollar to live in the hot areas?
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing a lot to encourage more development. We know that a lot of this is because there is a scarcity of units in general. Mayor Johnson's Cut the Tape initiative has been a really key movement within the administration and making sure that we're streamlining these processes and that we're getting these units online faster. This is both on the market side, where they will still have some percentage of them that will be affordable per the Affordable Requirements Ordinance, or on the affordable side, where we're just streamlining the entire process as we help finance these deals.
$300 million invested into those 15 developments.
Yes.
Where are they, and how soon can people start to see those units?
Yeah, we are super excited. The 15 developments are from across the city, all the way from the north side to the south side, and we're really proud of that. Those units, so through the Cut the Tape initiative, we're hoping we'll start construction by the end of next year. We know that we want to work through this quickly, and we're really proud that these units will come online under the Cut the Tape.
Is the cost for builders included, or will that be passed on to the renters?
No, that is all coming through us. We have access to something called the low-income housing tax credits, which are specifically designed to help encourage public-private partnership and investment into the building of affordable housing. The city will be investing over $300 million into these projects, and the private market will invest the rest of what is necessary to build this. At the end of the day, we're also not just building for right now, we're building for decades to come. These units will be available and affordable for the next 30 years.
People are renting longer, obviously, because it's harder to buy houses. What impact does that have on all of this?
Yeah, we want to make sure that folks are able to rent as affordably as they can, because we want to make sure that folks are able to live their best life, essentially. Affordable housing is economic development, and we want to make sure that if you can afford your rent, if you can afford your mortgage, it means you're contributing to the neighborhood economy, and means that those dollars are circulating locally for much longer. And so ultimately, when we have folks renting for longer periods of time, we just want to make sure they can do it in a way that still allows them to contribute.
One thing that could be impacting the cost, there's no cap on costs in Illinois. Is it time for state lawmakers to revisit that?
It's certainly something for state lawmakers to look at. We know that rent costs have been out of control, one could say, for quite some time, and certainly the state legislature should take a look.
The Green Social Housing Initiative, what is that, and where are you guys in the process?
We are so proud of this. LIHTC, the low-income housing tax credits, are the single biggest way in which we've been building affordable housing for a really long time, since the 1980s. This is an innovative but proven way in which we are building affordable housing. There are other smaller cities that have taken this on. Chicago is the biggest city to take this challenge on. We're going to build affordable housing in a way that recycles the capital that we are putting in. There won't be any further subsidy from the federal government, and it means that we can take that money back and put it into a new project. We can also take on big projects, we can take on smaller projects, and we can really increase the inventory, which we know is part of the problem.
Governor Pritzker's out with a plan. He addressed it in the State of the State. He wants to cap mandatory parking minimums and allow 4 flats on a standard Chicago lot. What's the city's position on that?
Yeah, we're excited to see what the governor does and what happens at the state legislative level, and we look forward to seeing what they're able to do.
Mayor Johnson has less than a year left in his first term. What's your best case scenario for improving housing in Chicago and the frustrations that the realtor raised?
We're really excited for what we're doing right now, and part of what happens in development is that it has a really long-term impact. You start working on something now, you might not see it break ground for 9 months, you may not see it come to fruition for 18 months after that. And so the seeds that we're planting right now, we're confident will yield fruit as we move forward.
And it's not such a bad thing that it's a hot market and that there's high demand. People want to be in Chicago.
People absolutely do. And I think ultimately that's our goal, and that's the goal of the mayor, right? To make this the safest, most affordable big city in America for everyone. We want anyone who wants to be able to be here, Chicagoans in particular, to be able to be here and stay.
Well, there's a lot of work to be done on that front, a lot of frustration out there. Lisette Castañeda, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Department of Housing Commissioner.
Yes.
All right, and we are back in 60 seconds. All right, a great clip to show you about tonight, talk about tonight. Tonight, we tip our hat to Christie and the Institute of Politics at Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. The former Republican governor raised eyebrows with comments criticizing an entire generation.
The baby boomers. The most selfish generation in American history. The most self-centered generation in American history. The least sacrificing generation in American history. And you know, you look at Biden and Trump in particular, and they personify that.
We, of course, are not taking a position on what Christie said, but we do applaud there being space for provocative commentary like this. And those clips are all over the internet. You can catch more of the former New Jersey governor. And that is The Point this Tuesday. I'm Tamon Bradley. Micah's back with more news tonight at 9 o'clock. Don't forget about the forecasters next on WGN Plus. Good night.